Saturn. When you think about it, it's just this magnificent jewel of our solar system. I mean, those rings, they're iconic. For decades, it's been the stuff of science fiction, this incredible symbol of cosmic beauty and, deep mystery. But here's the big question. Could we ever actually live there? Is Saturn our next great frontier, a total dream destination? Or is the reality a whole lot harsher? Maybe even a cosmic death trap hiding behind all that beauty? Okay, let's not beat around the bush. The short, simple answer is a hard no. It is absolutely 100% impossible for humans to live on Saturn. So, let's break down exactly why that is. Right, it's time to look past those gorgeous rings and really face the hostile reality of this gas giant. The science on this is crystal clear, and trust me, it is not a welcoming picture. It really boils down to 4 colossal, deal-breaking reasons that Saturn is completely off-limits. We're talking about having no solid ground to stand on, absolutely insane pressure and heat, an atmosphere you can't breathe, and winds that are literally supersonic. Let's tackle them one by one. First up, and this is the big one, there is nowhere to land. Saturn is what we call a gas giant. So unlike Earth or Mars, it's basically a giant ball of gas, mostly hydrogen and helium. If you tried to land a spaceship, you wouldn't land. You would just fall, sinking deeper and deeper and deeper into the planet. And as you're falling, you'd hit these temperatures that are just hard to even wrap your head around. Up at the cloud tops, it's a super frigid minus 178 degrees Celsius. But as you plunge down toward the core, the temperature skyrockets to over 11,700 degrees Celsius. That's actually hotter than the surface of the sun. So you'd be frozen solid one moment and then completely vaporized the next. All right, let's just pretend for a second you could somehow survive the fall and the temperatures. You still couldn't breathe. The atmosphere is 96% hydrogen and about 4% helium. Now, notice what's missing from that list? Yep, 0% oxygen. It's totally toxic for us. And if all of that wasn't enough to scare you off, you've got the winds. Saturn's winds can hit speeds of 1,800 kilometers per hour. To put that in perspective, that's almost 1.5 times the speed of sound. We're talking about some of the fastest, most violent winds in the entire solar system. They'd tear pretty much anything you can imagine to shreds. So, what's the bottom line here? Well, I think this quote from our source material just says it all perfectly. Any spacecraft or person would simply sink through the atmospheric layers, where temperatures and pressures become crushingly intense. It's just a place that is completely incompatible with life as we know it. Sounds pretty bleak, doesn't it? But hold on. This is where the story takes a really fascinating and, honestly, a hopeful turn. Because while Saturn itself is a death trap, the real prize, the real story for exploration, it isn't the planet at all. It's the moons that are orbiting it. And this is the fundamental contrast when you look at the Saturn system. On the one hand, you have the beautiful but totally uninhabitable gas giant. But circling it, you have these 2 incredible worlds of potential, the moons Titan and Enceladus. So why are scientists so incredibly excited? Well, look at Titan. It's got a thick atmosphere and liquid on its surface. That is huge. And then you have Enceladus, which has a confirmed ocean of liquid water hiding under its surface. I mean, liquid water. That is the absolute holy grail in the search for life anywhere else. Let's just zoom in on Titan for a second. It is the only moon in our entire solar system that has a thick, dense atmosphere. And that atmosphere gives it crucial protection from all that dangerous cosmic radiation. And get this, its surface has rivers and lakes and even seas, but they're not made of water. They're flowing with liquid methane and ethane. It's this alien but also weirdly familiar world. And now for Enceladus. The story here reads like a thrilling scientific detective novel. First, we just saw was a small icy moon. Then, data started to suggest there was an ocean under all that ice. And then, this is the amazing part. The Cassini spacecraft actually flew through these water plumes erupting from its south pole and confirmed it. It's liquid water. And it's salty. Every single step gets us closer to that massive final question. Could there actually be life there? So think about where we started this explainer. We were dreaming of living on Saturn, only to find out it's an impossible nightmare. But in that process, we've stumbled upon something way more exciting, a completely new frontier for exploration. And I think this is the real takeaway from our whole journey today. Sometimes, The most profound, the greatest discoveries, they aren't in the obvious, grand places we dream of going. They're quietly orbiting the very places we can never, ever visit. Which really just leaves us with this one final, incredible thought. We can't live on Saturn, that's for sure. But as we look to the future, as we keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible, could humanity's next home, or maybe the first discovery of alien life, be found on one of Saturn's moons? Now that is the question that's going to drive science for decades to come.